Captain Marcus Webb never expected his routine salvage mission would change the course of human history. The distress beacon had been pulsing for 3 weeks in the Kepler 442 system, a dying whisper in the cosmic void that most ships ignored. But Marcus wasn't most captains. His crew of 12 specialists aboard the salvage vessel Prometheus approached the source with cautious curiosity. What they found defied explanation: a massive alien ship, nearly 2 kilometers long, listing in orbit around a dead moon. Its hull was unlike anything in the known galaxy. Organic curves merged seamlessly with crystalline structures that caught starlight and bent it in impossible ways. "Getting some weird readings, Captain," reported engineer Lisa Torres from her station. "Power signatures are all over the place. This thing's dying, but parts of it are still trying to function." Marcus studied the vessel through the viewport. Scorch marks and hull breaches told stories of desperate battles. Any signs of life? Negative. If anyone was aboard, they're long gone. The boarding party found the interior both magnificent and tragic. Corridors stretched like cathedral halls, walls embedded with what looked like circuitry made of light itself. But systems sparked and failed randomly, artificial gravity fluctuated wildly, and the ship groaned like a wounded animal. In what they assumed was the command center, they discovered the bodies. 7 aliens, their elongated forms draped over consoles, crystalline skin dulled by death. They had died at their posts, fighting to the last. "Captain, you need to see this," called out Dr. James Park, the team's Xenotech specialist. He stood before a massive holographic display that flickered weakly to life. Alien symbols scrolled past, but the universal translator in their suits caught fragments: primary core compromised, auxiliary systems failing, quantum drives offline, estimate 47 hours until total system collapse. "This ship is falling apart," Marcus said grimly. "Yes, but look at these schematics," James gestured at the projection. "This technology is centuries ahead of anything we have. The weapons systems alone could revolutionize space combat. And these quantum drives, if we could understand them, we could cross the galaxy in days instead of months." Lisa appeared beside them, her eyes wide with wonder and fear. "Captain, this ship was damaged by something incredibly powerful. Whatever killed these aliens might still be out there." Marcus made his decision quickly. "We have 47 hours. Contact command and tell them we're claiming this vessel under salvage law. Then get every engineer we have over here. We're not letting this technology die in the void." "Sir, we're salvage operators, not miracle workers," Lisa protested. "Then we'll learn to be," Marcus replied, his gaze fixed on the alien ship's dying systems. "Because humanity just inherited something magnificent, and I'll be damned if I let it slip away." The Prometheus docked fully with the alien vessel, creating an umbilical connection that pumped oxygen, power, and hope into the dying ship. Marcus had renamed it Phoenix, a fitting name for something they planned to resurrect from the ashes. 47 hours. That's all they had before the ship's core would collapse catastrophically, taking with it technology that could advance humanity by centuries. United Earth Command had responded to their report with skeptical enthusiasm, dispatching their fastest science vessel, but it wouldn't arrive for another 6 days. "We're on our own," Marcus told his assembled crew in the Phoenix's main hangar. "I won't lie, this is dangerous. The ship could fail at any moment. Anyone who wants to return to the Prometheus can do so, no questions asked." No one moved. Engineer Lisa Torres cracked her knuckles. "So, who wants to teach an old dog new tricks? Because this old dog is ready to learn alien engineering." The crew split into teams. Lisa led the engineering group, focusing on the power systems. Dr. James Park headed the technology analysis team, trying to decode the alien computer systems. Meanwhile, Marcus and pilot Rachel Moore worked on understanding the ship's navigation and helm controls. The first major breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Tommy Rodriguez, their youngest crew member and resident computer genius, discovered that the alien computer systems responded to neural patterns. It's like It's reading our intentions, he explained excitedly. The interface isn't about buttons or commands, it's about thought. This revelation accelerated their progress dramatically. Within 12 hours, they had basic control over life support and artificial gravity. But the ship's heart, its mysterious quantum core, remained a puzzle wrapped in an enigma. Lisa descended into the core chamber with 3 other engineers. The room pulsed with dying light, a crystalline sphere the size of a small house floating in its center, connected to thousands of conduits. Entire sections had gone dark, and fractures spiderwebbed across its surface. "It's beautiful," whispered Martinez, one of her team members. "It's dying," Lisa corrected. She ran her scanner over the core, and her blood ran cold. "Captain, we have a problem." The alien estimates were optimistic. "We have maybe 30 hours, not 47. Marcus's voice crackled over the comm, "Can we stabilize it?" Lisa studied the readouts, her mind racing through possibilities. The alien technology was sophisticated beyond belief, but the principles were universal: energy in, energy out, controlled reaction. Then she saw it: the auxiliary power nodes scattered throughout the ship weren't just backups, they were meant to feed into the core in a specific pattern. "Maybe," she said slowly. "But we'll need to reroute power from the Prometheus and hope our reactor can handle the load. It's going to be like jump-starting a dead star with a car battery." "Do it," Marcus ordered without hesitation. The next 6 hours were a blur of frantic activity. Lisa's team worked like possessed, connecting human power systems to alien technology, bridging the gap between 2 civilizations with cables, courage, and improvisation. When they finally activated the connection, the entire ship shuddered. The quantum core flickered, then brightened slightly. "Core stability increasing," Tommy reported, disbelief in his voice. "It's working. We bought ourselves time." "How much?" Marcus asked. "Maybe 72 hours. Maybe more." Lisa collapsed against a wall, exhausted but triumphant. They'd done the impossible, kept an alien starship alive with duct tape and determination. Now came the hard part, actually making it fly. With the immediate crisis averted, the crew of the Phoenix faced their next challenge: understanding a ship designed by minds fundamentally different from their own. Every system was an enigma, every control a mystery waiting to be solved. Rachel Moore sat in what they'd identified as the pilot's chair, a throne-like seat that adjusted itself to her body with unsettling intelligence. Before her, holographic displays flickered in and out of existence, showing alien script that their translators could only partially decode. "Talk to me, beautiful," Rachel murmured, placing her hands on the armrests. Neural connectors emerged from the chair like curious snakes, hovering near her temples. She'd volunteered to be the first to attempt a full neural interface, despite Dr. Park's warnings about unknown risks. "Vitals are steady," James reported from his monitoring station. But Rachel, at the first sign of trouble. "I'll disconnect." "I know." She took a deep breath. Initiating connection. The moment the connectors touched her skin, Rachel's world exploded. Information flooded her consciousness, not words or images, but pure understanding. She could feel the ship around her, sense its damaged systems like injuries on her own body. The quantum drives hummed in her awareness, dormant but not dead. Weapons systems flickered at the edge of her perception, vast and terrifying. "Oh my God," she whispered. "I can feel everything. The ship, it's alive. Not like AI alive, but aware somehow." Marcus leaned forward. "Can you fly it?" Rachel's laugh was shaky. "Captain, I don't think I fly this ship. I think I become it." Over the next day, Rachel spent increasing periods connected to the Phoenix, gradually learning its systems through direct neural interface. Other crew members with piloting experience tried the connection, but Rachel had the strongest affinity. The ship responded to her like it recognized a kindred spirit. Meanwhile, Lisa's engineering team made breakthrough after breakthrough. They discovered that the alien power systems operated on principles that made human fusion reactors look like steam engines. The ship didn't just generate energy, it borrowed it from quantum fluctuations in space itself, tapping into the zero-point field. This is revolutionary, Lisa explained to Marcus during their daily briefing. If we can replicate this technology, Earth's energy problems are solved forever. No more fusion, no more resource wars. Unlimited clean power. But not everything was progress. Tommy Rodriguez discovered something disturbing in the ship's partial logs. The aliens, they'd started calling them the architects based on the artistic precision of their technology, had been fleeing from something. The translation is rough, Tommy said, projecting fragments of recovered data. But there was a war. A big one. The architects were on the losing side. Against who? Marcus asked. That's what worries me, Captain. Every reference to their enemy is corrupted or deliberately erased. It's like they didn't want anyone to know what they were running from. A chill ran down Marcus's spine. Or they didn't want whatever was chasing them to find whoever discovered their ship. There's more, Tommy continued. These coordinates keep appearing in the logs. He highlighted a star system roughly 40 light-years away. I think it's where the architects were heading. Maybe a refuge or a rally point. Or a trap, Lisa added darkly. Marcus studied the data, weighing their options. United Earth Command's science vessel would arrive in 4 days. The smart move would be to wait, turn everything over to the experts, and collect their salvage fee. But the Phoenix was responding to them. To Rachel's touch, to Lisa's repairs, to Tommy's curiosity. They'd brought this ship back from the brink of death. It felt wrong to just hand it over. Keep working, Marcus decided. We're going to get this ship operational before command arrives. Then we'll see what they say. Rachel's voice came over the comm from the bridge, excitement evident. Captain, you're going to want to see this. I just figured out the weapons systems. And sir, we're sitting on enough firepower to level a planet. The moment of truth arrived on their 3rd day aboard the Phoenix. The quantum core had stabilized at 60% capacity, not optimal, but enough. Lisa's team had restored primary systems throughout the ship. Rachel had achieved what she called conversational fluency with the neural interface. It was time to see if their dying alien vessel could actually fly. Marcus stood on the bridge, surrounded by his crew at stations that had been designed for alien hands. The space had transformed from a tomb into something that almost felt alive. Holographic displays glowed with steady light, showing ship status in a hybrid interface that merged architect design with human additions. All teams report ready, Lisa announced from engineering. Core is stable. Quantum drives are online, though I wouldn't push them past 30% capacity. Rachel? Marcus looked at his pilot, who sat in her neural throne with her eyes closed, completely immersed in the ship's consciousness. I've got helm control, she replied, her voice distant. The Phoenix is eager. I know that sounds crazy, but it wants to fly. Navigation is plotted, Tommy added. Just a short hop to the edge of the system and back. Nothing fancy. Marcus took a deep breath. This was it, the moment when they'd find out if 3 days of improvised engineering and inspired guesswork would pay off or blow them all into atoms. Disconnect from the Prometheus, he ordered. Take us out, Rachel. Nice and easy. The docking clamps released with a series of metallic clangs that echoed through the hull. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Rachel's eyes opened, glowing faintly with reflected light from the neural interface. Here we go. The Phoenix moved like a living thing. No roar of thrusters, no violent shaking, just smooth, silent acceleration that defied physics as humanity understood them. On the displays, Marcus watched their velocity climb, 1,000 meters per second, 5,000, 10,000. The ship glided through space with impossible grace. Holy hell, Lisa breathed. We're accelerating at 50 gs, but internal gravity compensation is perfect. I'm not even feeling a nudge. Rachel laughed with pure joy. The architects understood inertial dampening in ways we never dreamed. I could pull maneuvers that would turn a human ship into a pancake, and we just feel a gentle breeze. Let's not test that theory just yet, Marcus said, but he couldn't hide his smile. They'd done it. They'd actually brought an alien starship back to life. Then the alarm started. Contact! Tommy shouted. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, bearing 270. There. Captain, they're not broadcasting any IFF signals. Marcus's blood ran cold. On screen. 5 ships materialized in the void, sleek and predatory. Their hulls were dark as space itself, covered in angular plating that seemed to absorb light. They were smaller than the Phoenix, each maybe 400 meters long, but they radiated menace. Getting weapons lock warnings, Rachel reported, her voice tight. Captain, the Phoenix recognizes these ships. They're registering as hostile, extreme threat level. Are these the ones who killed the architects? Lisa asked. Before anyone could answer, the unknown ships opened fire. Beams of crimson energy lanced across space, targeting the Phoenix with lethal precision. Shields! Marcus commanded. Rachel's response was instinctive, drawing on the ship's own memories and knowledge. Barriers of shimmering energy materialized around the Phoenix, and the enemy fire splashed harmlessly against them like water on stone. Shields holding at 98%, Lisa reported, amazement in her voice. That barely scratched us. Marcus made a split-second decision. They could run, the Phoenix was fast enough to escape. But these ships had attacked without warning, without communication. They'd probably been tracking the architect vessel, waiting to finish what they'd started. If Marcus let them leave, they'd come back. Maybe attack Earth, following the trail of the salvaged technology. Rachel, he said quietly. Can you fight? She looked at him, and in her eyes he saw the Phoenix's memories, battles fought and lost, desperate last stands, and yes, moments of terrible, awesome victory. Captain, she said, I can do more than fight. The architects built this ship to be a weapon. Let me show you why it terrified their enemies. The enemy ships moved with coordinated precision, spreading into an attack formation that would have spelled doom for any human vessel. But the Phoenix wasn't human, and Rachel Moore, connected to its ancient consciousness, was no longer just a pilot, she was the ship's wrath made manifest. Targeting solutions acquired, Rachel said, her voice carrying an otherworldly echo. The Phoenix remembers these ships. They're devourers, a scavenger race that preys on the wounded. They hunted the architects during their exodus. Can we take them? Marcus asked, gripping his command chair as the ship banked hard, dodging another volley of energy fire. The architects built this ship to face entire fleets, Rachel replied. 5 scavengers. This is going to be educational. The Phoenix twisted through space with impossible agility, its quantum drives making a mockery of inertia. Enemy fire traced glowing lines through the void, but Rachel anticipated every shot with preternatural awareness, the ship dancing between deadly beams like a leaf on the wind. Weapons online, she announced. Initiating pulse cannons. Marcus watched in awe as crystalline turrets emerged from the Phoenix's hull, structures that had seemed decorative now revealing their true purpose. They glowed with building energy, a beautiful blue-white radiance that suddenly erupted in focused beams of devastating power. The first Devourer ship took a direct hit amidships. Its dark armor, designed to absorb conventional energy weapons, proved useless against architect technology. The beam punched through shields and hull like paper, and the enemy vessel split apart in a flash of escaping atmosphere and flame. 1 down, Tommy counted. 4 remaining. They're scattering, trying to outflank us. They can try, Rachel said with grim satisfaction. She pushed the Phoenix through a barrel roll that defied physics, bringing them into a position that should have been impossible to achieve. 2 more devourers found themselves directly in her sights. The pulse cannons fired again, and another enemy ship died in fire and fury. But the devourers weren't giving up. The remaining 3 ships regrouped and fired simultaneously, concentrating their beams on a single point in the Phoenix's shields. Warning lights flared across the bridge. Shields at 72%, Lisa reported from engineering. They're adapting their targeting. If they keep focusing fire, they'll punch through. Then we don't give them the chance, Rachel said. Hold on to something. What happened next would be debated and analyzed by military strategists for years to come. The Phoenix accelerated directly toward the Devourer formation, building speed to a significant fraction of light speed in seconds. Just when collision seemed inevitable, Rachel activated a system the crew hadn't known existed. The ship phased. For a heartbeat, the Phoenix existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Marcus felt his consciousness expand, seeing reality from angles that hurt to perceive. They passed through the Devourer formation like ghosts, emerging behind their enemies in perfect firing position. Quantum displacement drive, Rachel gasped, the strain evident in her voice. The architects could fold space, teleport short distances. The ship was teaching me, showing me what it could do. Are you okay? Marcus asked, seeing blood trickling from her nose. Fine. Just, intense. She smiled grimly. Let's finish this. The Phoenix unleashed its full arsenal. Pulse cannons fired in sequence, each shot precisely calculated. Missile ports opened, launching projectiles that moved like living things, guided by quantum-entangled targeting. The remaining Devourer ships tried to flee, their confidence shattered, but there was no escape. Within 30 seconds, it was over. 5 enemy ships reduced to debris and expanding gas clouds. The Phoenix floated in the aftermath of battle, its shields flickering back to full strength, weapons cooling but ready. Silence reigned on the bridge for a long moment. Status report, Marcus finally said, his voice hoarse. All systems nominal, Lisa reported. Shield regeneration is working perfectly. Weapons are ready for another engagement. Core stability is actually better than before. I think the combat action helped purge some damaged systems. Tommy was staring at his sensor displays in disbelief. Captain, I recorded everything. That phase shift, the weapon's precision, the combat maneuvers, we just defeated 5 ships in under 3 minutes. Nothing in the human fleet could have survived that. Marcus stood slowly, looking around at his crew. They were salvage operators, civilian contractors who'd stumbled onto something incredible. And in one brief, violent encounter, they'd just become the most dangerous force in known space. Rachel, he said quietly. Disconnect from the neural interface. We need to talk about what just happened. She opened her eyes, and they were fully human again, filled with wonder and fear. Captain, the Phoenix isn't just a ship. It's a legacy. The architects built it to protect, to fight, to survive. And now. She gestured around the bridge, now it's ours. The question is, what do we do with it? United Earth Command's science vessel Discovery arrived in the Kepler 442 system to find the situation drastically different from what they'd expected. Instead of a salvage team barely keeping a dying alien ship alive, they encountered the fully operational Phoenix, surrounded by the debris of 5 destroyed hostile vessels. Admiral Victoria Cross, a decorated veteran of the Resource Wars, stood on the Discovery's bridge with her arms crossed, studying the alien vessel with calculating eyes. The Phoenix hung in space like a predator at rest, its crystalline hull catching starlight and transforming it into cascading rainbows. They actually got it working, she said, impressed despite herself. And they fought off an attack. These salvage operators are full of surprises. Her communications officer looked up. Admiral, Captain Webb is requesting permission to come aboard for a meeting. Permission granted. And have our Marine detachment ready. Discreetly. An hour later, Marcus sat across from Admiral Cross in her ready room, with Lisa and Rachel flanking him. The Admiral had listened to their full report without interruption, her expression unreadable. "Impressive work," she finally said. "You've not only salvaged alien technology but weaponized it. However, I'm sure you understand that this situation has moved far beyond your salvage claim." Marcus had expected this. "With respect, Admiral, the Phoenix is legally ours under the Salvage Act of 2087. We found it, we saved it, we made it operational. Captain Webb, you're holding technology that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. 5 ships attacked you, which suggests others know about the Phoenix and will come looking. This isn't about salvage rights anymore. It's about survival. Earth's survival or the survival of Command's authority?" Lisa interjected sharply. Admiral Cross's eyes narrowed. "Excuse me. We've seen the ship's logs," Lisa continued. "The architects were a peaceful civilization that got caught in someone else's war. They built ships like the Phoenix as a desperate defense. That technology, energy generation, quantum drives, weapons systems, could revolutionize Earth. But who controls that revolution? The people or the military? This is bigger than politics," Admiral Cross replied coldly. "Everything is politics," Marcus said. "Admiral, we're not trying to be difficult. But we've spent 72 hours bonded to this ship. Rachel has a neural connection to it. We've earned its trust, and it's earned ours. The Phoenix responds to us in ways it might not respond to your military personnel. Is that a threat? It's a fact." Rachel spoke for the first time, her voice quiet but firm. "The ship's AI, if you can call it that, recognizes us as its crew. When I connect to the neural interface, it shows me its memories. The architects didn't build their ships to be weapons of conquest. They built them to protect. The Phoenix won't serve masters who plan to use it for aggression." Admiral Cross leaned back, studying them. "You realize how this sounds? You're claiming the ship has opinions about its own use. The architects were millions of years ahead of us," Marcus said. "Maybe they figured out how to make their ships more than just machines. Or maybe we're anthropomorphizing sophisticated programming. Either way, the result is the same, the Phoenix works best with us." The Admiral was silent for a long moment, weighing her options. Finally, she sighed. "Command is going to want to take the Phoenix. You know that. They'll cite emergency powers, galactic security, whatever legal justification they need." "We know," Marcus admitted. "But we have a proposal." He outlined their plan: keep the crew of the Phoenix together as an independent unit under Earth protection. Share the architect technology freely with Earth's scientists but maintain operational control of the ship. Use the Phoenix as both a research vessel and a defense platform, protecting humanity's interests without becoming a tool of conquest. "You're asking for autonomy," Admiral Cross said. "To be your own fleet." "We're asking to continue what we started," Lisa corrected. "We saved this ship. We learned to fly it. We defended it against enemies who would have destroyed it. Give us the chance to prove that we can use it responsibly." Admiral Cross stood and walked to her viewport, staring out at the Phoenix. "The Council is going to have my head for this. But I fought in the resource wars. I saw what happens when governments treat advanced technology as a weapon first and a tool second." She turned back to face them. "You'll operate under Earth authority but with significant autonomy. You'll share all research findings. And you'll accept a liaison officer aboard to ensure accountability." Marcus felt relief wash over him. "We can work with that." "Don't celebrate yet," the Admiral warned. "Those ships that attacked you. The Devourers. They're probably the least of your worries. The architects were running from something big enough to destroy their entire civilization. Whatever it was, it might still be out there. And now you're flying around in one of their ships, broadcasting your presence to anyone who's looking. Then we'd better make sure we're ready," Rachel said quietly. Because the Phoenix isn't just a ship. It's a message. A message that says humanity doesn't give up, doesn't back down, and doesn't let miracles die in the dark. 3 months after first discovering the derelict alien vessel, the Phoenix had become something unprecedented in human history, a bridge between two civilizations separated by time and space. Marcus stood on the bridge of his ship, and he still marveled that he could think of it that way, watching the construction yards of Earth orbit through the viewport. A dozen new vessels were taking shape, human-designed but incorporating architect principles. The technology sharing had begun, and with it, a new age for humanity. "Captain, incoming transmission from Mars colony," Tommy announced. "They're reporting a 40% increase in power generation using the quantum tap technology. No safety issues. Mark it in the log," Marcus replied. Clean, unlimited energy was transforming human space. Resource wars were becoming history. Colonies that had struggled to survive were now thriving. But the Phoenix itself had evolved beyond anyone's expectations. Rachel emerged from her neural interface, her connection to the ship now so refined that she barely needed the physical connectors anymore. "We've finished the upgrades Lisa designed. The human architect hybrid systems are fully integrated." The ship was no longer purely alien. Lisa's engineering genius had merged human and architect technology, creating something new, systems that drew from both civilizations' strengths. The Phoenix was faster, more powerful, and more versatile than ever. Yet it was the crew that had transformed most dramatically. They'd grown from 12 to 50, carefully selected specialists who'd trained for months to work with architect technology. Some, like Rachel, had developed neural affinity with the ship's systems. Others had mastered the quantum drives or weapons platforms. Together, they'd become something unique, the first truly interstellar human crew. "Admiral Cross is hailing," Tommy reported. "Priority 1. The Admiral's face appeared on the holographic display, and Marcus noted the concern in her expression. "Captain Webb, we have a situation. Long-range sensors have detected something entering our galaxy. Multiple massive energy signatures, moving at speeds that shouldn't be possible." Marcus felt his pulse quicken. The ones the architects were fleeing from? Unknown, but the probability is high. Whatever they are, they'll reach our sector in approximately 6 months. We need the Phoenix on an exploratory mission. Find out what's coming and whether it's hostile. Understood, Admiral. We'll depart within the hour. As the transmission ended, Marcus called his senior staff to the bridge. Lisa, Rachel, Tommy, and the others gathered around the central holographic display, where Marcus projected the trajectory of the unknown contacts. "This is what we've been preparing for," he said. "The Phoenix was built for exploration and defense. Now we get to fulfill both purposes." "The architects fled from these beings," Lisa pointed out. "A civilization millions of years more advanced than us ran away. What makes us think we can stand against them?" "Because we're not the architects," Rachel said firmly. "They were peaceful, unprepared for war. We're human. We adapt, we innovate, we survive. The Phoenix isn't just their legacy anymore, it's ours. We've made it better, stronger." Tommy pulled up the ship's specifications, the hybrid of human and architect engineering that now defined the vessel. "We've got weapons they never imagined, tactics they never developed. The Devourers learned that the hard way." Marcus looked at each of his crew members. "This mission is voluntary. We're heading into complete unknown. No one would blame anyone for staying behind." No one moved. "Then let's show the galaxy what happens when humans refuse to give up," Marcus said. "Prepare for departure. Rachel, plot a course to intercept those signatures. We're going to find out what scared the architects, and we're going to make sure it doesn't destroy us too." As the Phoenix powered up its quantum drives, Marcus reflected on how far they'd come. They'd found a dying ship and turned it into something magnificent. They'd taken alien technology and made it their own. They'd transformed from salvage operators into guardians of humanity's future. The ship hummed with power, human voices mixing with alien systems in perfect harmony. Through the viewports, Earth glittered like a blue jewel, a world full of people who now had hope for a brighter future because of what the Phoenix represented. All systems ready, Rachel reported, her eyes glowing faintly with the neural connection. Quantum drives online. We're ready for the long jump. Marcus settled into his command chair, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of adventure. Somewhere out there, in the vast darkness between stars, answers awaited. Dangers too, certainly, but the crew of the Phoenix had proven they could face the impossible and emerge victorious. Take us out, he commanded. Let's go meet our destiny. The Phoenix leaped forward, leaving Earth behind in a flash of quantum light. The most powerful vessel in the galaxy, crewed by humans who'd refused to let a miracle die, now raced toward the unknown. Whatever awaited them, hostile aliens, ancient mysteries, or the secrets of the architects, they would face it together. Because that's what humans did best, take the impossible and make it possible. Take the broken and make it whole. Take the legacy of a fallen civilization and transform it into hope for the future. The Phoenix wasn't just a ship anymore. It was a symbol, proof that humanity could reach for the stars and grasp them, could find wonder in the void and turn it into strength. And their journey was only beginning. The end.